Hello, welcome everyone. This is a Rewind podcast. My name is Stanley.
I am Julia.
Georgia.
Hello, I'm Nate.
I am Ben.
So, as far as our purpose here, we're trying to have discussions about architecture news, stuff that's related to our school, and just general architectural topics, but from a student's perspective.
Yeah. So this podcast will really be about us, really be about our experiences, our journeys in architecture school, really just unraveling everything we've experienced in architecture school, so you guys can maybe relate to us and get to know us more and get to come with us on this journey of exploring architecture and meet architects.
All right, so I think that we should talk about our personal experiences so we get to know each other a little bit better. So, you want to start? All right, I can give a head start. So, let's talk about what do you suggest, Nate?
So, when did architecture first enter your life, and what moment sealed the deal for you guys?
All right, so at least for me, I was young. Obviously, like I traveled quite a bit with my family, and I always admired architecture, and I found it very amusing. But my first true interaction was when my grandma was renewing. She had bought this apartment, and she was renewing it, and I got to tag along throughout the whole construction period. And she had like an interior architect, and interior designer. I was like, wait, hold on, this is kind of cool. She gets to buy stuff with other people's money, and you get to like browse around. I was like, okay, I do want to become an interior architect and interior designer. But then I guess what sold me the deal was that when I was in lower division, I had a professor that was like, why not just go for the full architecture? And then later on, you just, dive into interior design if you're interested. And so that, like, being able to tie architecture into my family, I think that's what kind of sold the deal together with my, then put a serious like, suggestion.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
What about you, Bess?
For me, architecture, obviously, this is very corny, but it has always been in our life. From when I was young, me and my sister would play with these like big plastic like Lego bricks. They're not the traditional small
Mega blocks.
mega blocks. Yeah. So I would start making houses and other things. I loved making forts out of them, and then honestly demolition a little bit, but that's a whole different story. As I continued to grow up, I grew up in a STEM elementary, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And so during the engineering classes, I love the marble runs, so creating those tracks. And then also we first were introduced to like 3D printers back then. So in like 4th or 5th grade for me, I was introduced to like 3D printers and this idea of like building things and actually having them realized. What really sealed the deal for me was, I would say, honestly, it was during college. I honestly was on the engineering track all throughout elementary, middle, high school. And then one day I was like, let's go with architecture for a little bit. I want to see how creative I can be with my life. And so that really started to come about during our first year in college in the architecture program.
Wow. What about you, Jojo?
Well, for me, it was technically my great grandfather. He was an architect that came from Italy to the Dominican Republic. He did a lot of work over there, still standing. So going back to my family, it's on my roots. I didn't know that until later on when I started college, but I did have the artistic sense. I always liked to build things. I always liked analyzing. I always liked creating stuff. I just didn't know at the moment what I wanted. We did a remodelation at my house, and I did the drawings, I did the design, and that we made it happen. And that a person came up to me and she was like, hey, you're really good at this. You should go ahead and try to do architecture. I started doing architecture. It was really fun. I did my first semester. What really sealed it to me was when I realized that I was finally finding a place that I was comfortable with. Because I wasn't really all my life into studying. From the moment that I fell into architecture, that's when I kind of upscale myself. That's the moment that I actually realized, okay, I actually enjoy this. And after that, I've just been growing, just getting back.
Yeah. So,
I have a question. So you were part of the construction in your house, or you were just like tagged along?
No, so the construction of my house was just my mom and I who were designing all the drawings. I designed all the drawings, and out of those drawings and concept, we came up with a design to put on the wall, and we cut the pieces. We
Oh, yeah,
cut
is
the
it-
chairs, yeah, and then we just glue them all together. We stack them with nails, and we just put all the design in the house. And maybe I can put the images of the wall. We can put it up on the on the on the podcast.
It's really big. What you say?
For me, I mean, I guess like everyone else, I started pretty young. Um, it was mainly my dad, I guess, that brought me into it, but it was very indirect. The earliest memory I have was like way back. I think I was like probably like 4 or 5 around there. My dad, he had bought a piece of land in Dominican Republic, and he decided to make an apartment building. Nothing too crazy, like probably like 8 to 10 suites. And obviously, to do that, you need an architect, you know. And he would always have the blueprints with him in his office. And then when I would go to visit, I'd always see them in little like tubes. And sometimes he would like show me the plans, and like we would go when we would visit, we would go to see the actual like thing being built in progress. And then from there, that kind of like put the seeds, I guess, if you will. And then just over the years growing up, I was looking back at it now. There's like little small things here and there that I feel like I can attribute to leading into my choice of architecture. Like, you know, everyone says, oh, they play Minecraft or The Sims or whatever, you know. And that was their like awakening. You know, I had those moments here and there. My dad would often renovate his office, which would include like interior remodeling, demolitions, and I was pretty much there every time he would do that. I didn't help because, you know, you don't want a 6-year-old holding a blowtorch, but you know, but I was there seeing it all happen in person. So that kind of, I guess, idea or lifestyle has been around me growing up. Even when we moved to Jersey, you know, we remodeled our kitchen, the basement, the outside, you know. So that's always been, I guess, a regular thing for me. But I guess the moment that sealed the deal, um, I guess that's high school. Because high school, we had like an architecture class actually, and the whole thing was you get familiar with Revit, and then you use Revit to build your dream house or dream house. I guess the first half of the year was just, you know, the learning aspect, and then the next half for your final, it's everything that you learned applied to actually making that house. Obviously, the house is, you know, very impractical because it's a high school we made it, but actually like being there, you know, making the plans and you know, using the software, that's what really like got me into it.
It's really cool.
It's really great.
And your name? What's up?
For me, really, much like you guys, was really early on. For me, I never shared this with you guys, but my dad was an architect, and growing up, me and my brother got to go to construction sites. We got to see plans, we got to see drawings, and there were times even our dad would have us, you know, sketch buildings, and early on, like, you know, we did that just, you know, just for the sake of doing it, just for the sake of, you know, playing around. But then I would say I got to high school, and it was 12th grade or 11th grade, and I needed to make a decision though. You know, what do I want to do in college? What do I want to study? What do I want to become? And I had three options, three decisions. Was it gonna be in aeronautical engineering? Was it gonna be mechanical engineering, or was it gonna be architecture? And I was like, you know what? I have these three options. I'm not that good with physics. I'm okay with math. And architecture was already something that was already within my family. And I was like, you know, let me just give it a try. Let me see it. And then I got to college, and and that's where the story started. And yeah, the story's still being written. So yeah, I say, I feel like for all of us, it seems like we got to maybe high school or college, and then we, you know, sort of made that decision, sort of sealed that day for us, was that we're gonna be an architect. So now, going to the next segment of the podcast, what was the biggest difference from before you went into architecture school and when you got into architecture school? What was that like for you guys? Biggest difference. Your biggest surprises or struggles?
I have the feeling that, I mean, I expect it to be, again, you guys all started with FAU. We came from Bar College War Division.
Yeah.
But like I thought more of like my color, like artistic, not in the sense of like creativity, but in like the 2D, like coloring, learning how to like full on 3D sketch. This like more analog, I guess, version of architecture, where it's like super cool. You see those beautiful drawings. Like I thought that there's gonna be a lot more of that, you know. And I guess the other thing that I didn't think it didn't load for me is that technology. Like when we first started architecture, like in BCU, it would be more like hands-on, like sketching and like learning how to draw elevations, plans, X, Y, and Z. And we had this discussion, and I found this very funny because he was like researching. He's like, "Oh, architects use AutoCAD, architects use Revit, architects use this and that." And I was like, we're not gonna need that until we're like in what, design 5, design something. And then when we first got introduced to like AIS, they were like AutoCAD workshop. I was like, wait, never mind. That's kind of very soon. That's kind of very soon. So yeah, I guess that's just like the perspective of being more analog. I don't know. That was what I thought.
That's your biggest difference, Robert.
Yeah.
I would say for me, well, I guess coming into FAU, it's the non-traditional way of thinking, I guess. You know, I guess I came in since my previous exposure to it prior to college, or like the most recent would be like Revit. That was my idea. Like, oh, I'm gonna be in school learning how to make all the technical plans, you know, the drawings, how to properly appropriate spaces with one another, you know.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, that's what most people think when they come into architecture school. But then coming here, you know, in the beginning, and it's just like, I remember the first lesson that Chuma had was like, you just had a piece of paper. He's like, draw. You're like, design a chair, design something you sit on, you know? Sketch, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was the, I guess, the open-endedness. That's what really surprised me. That, and like, there isn't one set route that you go, you know? It's not like, you know, you start at the bottom of a ladder and then you work your way all the way up. It's you start at the bottom or at the starting line, but then there's so many different branches that very few times will two people's paths mirror each other like one for one, you know?
Yeah. I find it funny because when we were doing that exercise, he gave us a time limit. And that time limit ended up forcing us to basically do the exact same thing. Crumble up the paper. I'd be like, this is my shit. Yeah. So I think that would have been my biggest surprise, timing. Because in architecture, I didn't know how much of my time would go to design itself, let alone the physical models we have to do, putting those ideas and making them into 3D representations. I think the amount of time we put into that, it could be honestly the death parade for those people. All-nighters. Yeah. But yeah, I think that was my biggest like expectation versus reality moment, where I found that even though I'm doing these all-nighters, I actually enjoy doing them because it's doing something I love to do, even though it is taking considerably more time than I expect to do it.
Yeah, for me, it was more so when I got into the major, I thought it was gonna be more sunshine,
Touching grass?
College experience. No.
knowledge experience, going out, enjoying the party. Yeah, but I feel like there's a difference between wanting to do good, wanting to pass, or wanting to exceed.
Yeah.
And whenever you really like the architecture and you really want to be in it, there's no space for you to have a really well balanced like life. Or it's possible because I've seen people that have that, and I admire those people. But it's really hard for you to be able to do that because you have to manage work. If you have a work, you have to manage school, and then you also have to manage life. So my difference was before I thought that it will just all fall into pieces perfectly. No, I realized that you have to make all together.
Yeah. Your intensity says a lot.
Yeah. For me, like just like a lot of you guys, or maybe different from you guys, was that I had that experience. I was exposed to architecture very early on. Like my dad had sketches, rolls of sketches or drawings rather, and I saw those drawings, and But then when I got to architecture school or going through the experience, like a lot of you guys said, was the intensity, the amount of dedication hours you have to put in. I didn't really think it was that. I thought like, no, you have a built in mind, and then there it is. I know you had to work with a lot of people. You have to work with general contractors. You have to work with all these people. You have to meet with your clients and stuff like that. And yet, society constraints, client constraints, all of that. And for me, it was saying that what really was my like the biggest surprise was that yes, it was a lot that goes into that, but at the same time, it was also such a beautiful process. It was like, I fell in love with it. It was something that I, wanted to partake in. It was something that I was willing to sacrifice. Go to the parties, go to the, maybe football games or whatever. I was willing to sacrifice that for just to do well in architecture school.
And it's the constraints really. That's what makes it fun. Yeah, that's the fun part. It's like it's like they're giving your projects, but then there's a list of things that you have to follow or you can't do. And it's like, how do you design? How do you make whatever it is you're gonna make while being stuck in that little bubble? And I think that's where the challenge and the beauty comes out of it. Because if you can do something amazing with only a limited set of rules, then
I like what happened to me too. That's another thing that like shifted my perspective, and you guys are gonna find this funny. I guess I never really thought this through. So when I was in my last year of high school, I did early admission. So I had my last year in college. That's why I stayed in BC. I was like, no man, I'm gonna do my last year, my senior year. I'm gonna just do the general credit. Some are gonna be cool. The next year, I'm just gonna go like design 1 and 2 together. And then I was like, no, when we were talking about it, I was like, no, I'm gonna be able to graduate actually early. I'm not gonna graduate like scheduled everyone. No, I'm gonna take design 1 and 2 together. I'm just gonna cram that, and then I'll take whatever other architecture classes. And when I sat down with the advisor, I was like, all right, so how's this gonna go? Well, you gotta take design 1, and once you pass that, then you take design 2. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, rewind this, say that again. So like it was very interesting, and then like. Another thing, like what you guys are talking about, how like the college experience is a very social experience of like meeting people, going to football events, and I was like, my plan was to go to UCF, live with my best friend. we were gonna live together. We are gonna go to all football games, XYZ, and then it ended up being the other way around. I stayed in BC and went to FAU, and then I have not gone to a single football game just yet.
Wow.
Yes, so it's that all those like understatements that I guess like if you don't explore, you don't find it.
yeah.
And that's another thing. Like I think today with social media, you can like find those like kept like secrets about architecture
Yeah.
a lot easier.
Yeah.
But that's something that we didn't think of when we first started architecture. Is that like did you guys search it up? How is the architecture school?
I did.
You did? You guys did? Yeah. Okay, I was the only one who didn't.
But it did tell you the whole truth.
Yeah.
They didn't. They went on YouTube when I
watch every architecture.
I was actually like, no.
Like scared of architecture school.
I was there. That's how I always how you had art sidewars and all the things they had to wear.
Yeah, I was definitely scared about architecture school, and then I got to architecture school, and it was like, maybe it is hard, but it's like it's manageable. You can do it. It's possible. But yeah, I kept those all-nighters. I've never put an all-nighter in my life till I got to school, and then it's like, yeah, it's possible. I mean, it is that hard, it is that scary, but yeah, you can definitely do it. You can definitely do it.
Well, we're delivering to God's hand and did it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was probably, I bled more into it because I didn't really know that much.
Exactly.
Like, if you, or at least for me, like, I felt like if I had actually gone in and I looked up every single detail about architecture school that there is, I would have been like you guys. I would have been terrified. Like, oh my God, I won't people do this and that and blah 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 blah. But I kind of adjusted myself to the actual to the circumstances, and you know a lot of people say, like, I remember, like, I forgot who it was that told me, but it was like very early on in my first year that apparently there's like a stereotype that architecture students are like insomniacs or something, that they don't get a sleep, or and I was like, oh, that's
Some of them.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's that's fine. um but to be honest, I didn't really, I guess, pay that much mind to it, because in my head I'm like, well, if I'm gonna have moments where I won't get to sleep that much because of school, then that's just what's gonna have to be. Like, I can't sit here to complain like, oh, I don't have time to go out, oh, I don't have time to sleep, blah 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 blah. Because I'm here to do a job. My job is to pass school. You know, Obviously I want the prettiest report card ever, so I'm gonna try to get that, but I'm here to learn and to graduate. So if I have to stay up a few extra hours, then that's what I gotta do. And luckily, I haven't pulled an all-nighter yet. I've been close though. I've been close, very close. But I haven't been able to do that. I've been able to go out, and do stuff that I enjoy. Obviously not as much as business majors, but they're a different breed. But
For other reasons.
yeah, but I feel like I've obviously slowly, it wasn't right away, but I've managed to somewhat carve out time for different things. Now, granted, coming here was completely different, because back in Boca, I had dorms, and then so I didn't have to worry about rent and everything. But now, like, having to actually, like, grow up, like, finally be out there. It's really, it got a lot harder. So I'm relearning how to manage my way. Yeah.
I guess that the moral of the story is just trust it. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So we're getting towards the end of our podcast, or the first episode. So what can listeners expect from the show?
From the show, I think the cool part about the show is that we have different backgrounds and cultures, and like how you guys have mentioned, what makes us different is that we're students.
Yeah.
But we're not just simply students. We could have, if we were students and born in the same city, obviously we would still have different opinions because we have different personalities. We come from different places. For example, I was born and raised in Brazil, and then I moved here.
Yeah. I was like you. I was born in Nigeria or outside of the country, and I came here, and it's definitely impacted my experience. And I do want to share that with you guys, and I do want to share with everyone. And I think even as you Giorgio, you come from a different background.
Yeah, I was raised in Dominican Republic and I moved here, and it's been a great experience. But I didn't know you were tracking here.
Yeah.
So
Just despite the fact that I'm also Dominican, like Joshua, I grew up, like, half of my childhood was spent in the Bronx, the other half was in Jersey. So I got two different worlds wrapped in a Dominican bow. So
how about you, Ben?
I was born and raised in Florida, but I am the son to two refugees of the Vietnamese War. Wow. So
So
my experience growing up was,
that means it's a whole lot of like different point of views and funny enough, I was paying attention to this. Most of our, like, how we got into architecture, they kind of type.
yeah,
Even though, and like you guys just heard, we're very different.
yeah, we are.
And I think that that's our strength. Our difference is our strength, and that's what I think you guys should expect. Like, different points of views that is gonna give very interesting, like, talks.
Yeah. Now going towards the end of the podcast episode, a quick fun round of question. If I wasn't studying architecture, what would I do?
I'd probably be in civil engineering, still close to the major, but not too far off.
you don't have to come back to me.
I would be in criminal justice. So work for the FBI.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Well, in my case, I went from going to the military
Wow.
to study aerospace engineering.
Yeah.
to architecture. So I'm guessing that the only reason why I didn't go to that is because I was scared of math. That was the only reason, because I love motors, I love constructing things, I love designing stuff to move.
Yeah.
But the mathematical schedule, I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah, we're all alike. Like I said before, it was either gonna be, mechanical engineering,
Yeah.
aeronautical, or architecture. But if I was gonna be something other than architecture, it would probably be mechanical engineering. But like I said before, I wasn't good with physics. I was okay with math. I was good all the way to calculus, but after yeah, probably be mechanical engineering. Because when I was younger, I had an interest in cars. I was really interested in cars. I was like, I'm gonna grow up to be someone who's gonna be building cars, designing cars. But this is where we are, studying architecture.
How about you, Stan? We give enough time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll be the black sheep in this scenario. I'd probably be, I don't know.
A nurse. And just
No. McDonald's, I'm sorry. No. I'd probably be like, I don't know. Making my way in the MLB.
The Dominican.
I mean, no, I played a lot of baseball when I was among other things, but
Yeah.
But I mean, when it came to like professional career choices, architecture was like the one that came up first, the one I explored the most, and I didn't really like, I guess, sit down and think of a whole bunch of possibilities. I was like, what do I like? I like this. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. Seemed straightforward. Yeah.
so nurse. All right.
No.
I have a question, but I'll let you go first if you have another one.
No. It's
All right. So in the count of three, we all say what was our favorite thing tied to architecture, and I'm gonna give you three. So Lego, The Sims, or Minecraft. So in the count of three, you say what was the one that it was like your favorite. That was like, yes, that's like architecture and that's cool.
Like looking back on it, or like in
Like
the moment?
like looking back at it when you first like got exposed to like The Sims and Minecraft and Lego. What was the one that you were like, this is cool, this is I guess architecture,
You already know my answer.
All right, are you guys ready? You guys have an answer?
Yo,
Yeah,
I have a different answer, but okay.
it's outside of what I said.
Yes.
All right, so then we all say it together, and then you will hop back onto yours, and you explain why. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Minecraft. What did you say?
I said Revit.
Revit.
Okay.
You should have played Minecraft.
Yes, okay, I played Minecraft, but it wasn't. I didn't play sitting there like, oh wow, this is very architecture-y. No, I just played Minecraft to make a farm, kill creepers, and finish. I never finished the game, but but to live for however long that I could until I got bored and moved on to something else. I never thought it was like architecture-y. The closest thing I maybe was like Sim City type games, where I'm like moving city halls and hospitals and whatever. But I'm not.
Sims.
But I'm
You guys ever played Sims?
I have actually never played Sims, nor Minecraft, nor Lego. I really never touched any of that before.
Olivia Roblox.
Yeah. Okay, Roblox. Maybe I guess.
There you go. We got it.
Okay, I have played Roblox. You got me there. Oh my, yeah. My childhood is not the most fun, I guess. But yeah, I haven't played any of those before. But
So what was your answer?
I said nothing because I didn't think of.
Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna. Did you play with the building blocks, like those? What's the names? Wood building blocks.
No.
Like nothing similar.
Well, I think the word building blocks kind of phased out early 2000s.
Yeah.
That was
The magnetic towers as well.
Yeah, it mainly started getting to what he was saying, the mega blocks.
Yeah. They're like sticks and balls and magnets, you put them together.
We didn't have that in Brazil.
Oh, I'm not sure you had that in VR either.
So what was you guys' answer? Because we all said it together. What's
What's a Lego?
Lego? Or I guess we're all.
Same here. I have a set at the house.
I really like Minecraft. Like I played the unconventional Minecraft. I didn't like the survival mode whatsoever because like it was like it gave me anxiety.
You got scared?
It gave me no, not scared, but it gave me anxiety because at any moment, kaboom, you know. But I like the creative mode. I like my goal at one point was like to create a building that went all the way up to the limit of the sky because there's a point in Minecraft that you cannot build more.
Yeah.
I had a tower that did that. I had like a building that did that, and then like each form of floor have cats, so therefore we have like like dogs, crazy stuff. Young Julia went crazy.
Where I used to play Minecraft, I will create like these big stadiums, and then I will put the creepers in it and all those monsters with the material that doesn't break on the floors and on the walls. So whenever they will fight or explode or whatever, they wouldn't destroy the entire city, but then you will have like this couple fights, and then you will put all the villagers on the stand as the stadium. That's a big old thing. It was pretty fun at the time.
Do you guys ever play Disney Infinity? Where you have the little figures, and then there's like the little like platform that's connected to the.
Yeah, see, that like at the bottom, like of the thing.
And then when you put the character on it, you start playing as that character.
I completely forgot about that.
I think that's probably like the most I've been like hyper focused in like a architectural aspect in a game without thinking about it, because
I have no idea what you guys.
yeah, I can't really. You know what Skylanders is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, under yes.
Good flavor, but no.
The whole idea is, when they got popular, Disney wanted their own piece of that pie. So what they did was they made a series of 3 games where you take Disney characters, you put them on the platform, and then you play as
talking about.
Yeah.
There was, I think, that there was also Sullivan.
yes, yes.
So I remember seeing one of those.
Mm-hmm. And so I ended up managing to play all 3, and I remember because there's like some story modes depending on whatever which game, but then there's like a sandbox where you can build whatever. And where a lot of times what I would do is I would either take an empty sandbox and start making like a town, or I would take one that would have like the main area is like a city, and then I would extend it to have other things, like towns or like shops or whatever. Granted, I would do other stuff besides building, but I think that was like the main function. Yeah. Like city planning.
See, and that brings.
Sorry. The one that I played that was similar to that, it was maybe Lego Dimension. Yes, that was the one that I played, which was like gathering the cartridges and then editing them into the world.
You see, and that goes back to we kind of go back in circles too. Again, we're all very different.
Yeah.
That proves our theory that's why it's our biggest strength.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I guess that wraps up our first episode of the Arc Rewind podcast. Please tune in for the next episode. Thank you very much.
So where there's more content to come, this episode was a little short, but we're just getting our footing for now. But we got you guys. Don't worry.
Make sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube if you haven't. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.